Worst thing about a beard is that you can have a bad face day. Mission Impossible 4 Ghost Protocol, directed by Brad Bird and released in December of 2011, starring Tom Cruise, Paula Patton, Jeremy Renner, and Simon Pegg. Also starring Josh Holloway, Leah Seydoux, Michael Nyqvist, Samuel Edelman, and Vladimir Mashkov. Production budget of $145 million, domestic take of $209 million, an international take of $485 million for a worldwide total of $694 million, makes for a profit of just under $550 million. Let's do a rundown of the characters. Tom Cruise is back as Ethan Hunt, of course, and as always, he's great. And I think, once again, he's even better than the last one. This is an ongoing trend. Ethan Hunt is just better with each movie, and that is amazing. The new girl, Jane, I really liked her. She's a tough operator. She's a field agent. She's a butt kicker. She's a head cracker. She's all about the fighting and the shooting and the stabbing. However, she is not the honey trap. She's not the seductress. She's not the pretty thing to drag in the bad guys. That's not her thing. And so we have a lot of fun when it suddenly has to be her thing. And she really tries. She does her best. But it's not her scene. Simon Pegg is back as Benji, a fully promoted and qualified field agent, and he is good at what he does, but he's still Benji, which is, say, an erratic genius who tends to panic over little things and be very blasé about other stuff that everyone else would freak out about. He's a gadget and intel man, and he's good. Now, Jeremy Renner playing Hawkeye. Wrong movie, although that would be very cool. And now we have Jeremy Renner playing Brandt. Brandt is an ex-field operative who retired after a mission has gone very badly for him, and he's dragged back into the field through sheer circumstance. And to be honest, the franchise is so much better for it. I really like having Jeremy Renner in this movie. He's another smooth, tough operator. He's just below Ethan Hunt in skill level, I suspect, but just nowhere near him in confidence. And these four make up your core team, and they're great together. Really like them. As for villains, you've got Hendricks and Wistrom. I'm sorry, but really, they're just not that interesting. I didn't care for them, either of them, at all. They are absolutely interchangeable and swappable with any other villain from any other spy movie. Sabine Moreau, however, much more interesting. A very dangerous operator, nasty piece of work, swift, efficient assassin, cold, emotionless, and excellent. Unfortunately, then she's out. So that really was let down as well. The most interesting villain isn't in the movie for very long. Last two are Haraway, the agent that's murdered in the field. He was very nifty. At first you didn't see much of him, but then you see him in flashbacks. Looked like a great agent. I would have liked to see a lot more of him in the movie, or at least more of him when he wasn't dead. And Sidorov, the cop. Interesting character. Would have liked to see, again, a lot more of him. He's the one chasing down Ethan Hunt. He's the one on his tail because he thinks he's responsible for blowing up the Kremlin. Yeah, the Kremlin. That kind of upset Russia. Just a bit. He ends up being nothing more than a flashback to in the first Mission Impossible movie, where you had Ethan's handler chasing him down because he thought he was the bad guy. Well, same here. Sidorov is now chasing Ethan because he thinks Ethan's the bad guy. He has some better lines though, I think. So there you go. Characters are pretty straightforward. Standard Mission Impossible fare. You're totally invested in these characters, or at least the main four. I'll be giving them a 3.25. Would have been a 3.5, except honestly the villains drop it down a notch. But still, it's above average. Now for story. And as far as IMF movies go, this one's a pearler. This was some fun. Let's start with the fact that it's got the very best IMF opening sequence we've seen so far. Followed up by an excellent jailbreak sequence showcasing all the IMF agents in the field and also giving you a feel for where Ethan Hunt is at the moment. They managed to sneak another Tom Cruise is actually kind of short joke in here. I just like the fact they keep doing that. And he has to be in on the joke, and that's even better. Then they're out and about, they get the latest mission, which is to break into the Kremlin. And everyone reacts as one would hope. Why? How? As I've said before in these movies, I love it when the heroes are as bamboozled or as confused or as reluctant as you'd hope they would be for some of the insanity that these missions throw them into. The whole infiltrating the Kremlin sequence is really well done. quite witty, quite clever, action-packed, suspenseful, and they're building up and building up and building up. But what I wasn't expecting was the twist where it's, oh, and by the way, kaboom. Kremlin goes up, IMF gets blamed, IMF is now out. American government has to disavow everyone and instigate the Ghost Protocol, which means the whole IMF agency is shut down. Hunt is captured, we meet Sidorov, and everything goes very badly from there. Hunt ends up in yet another bridge ambush, during which the chief of IMF is killed, and he meets Brandt. Ethan Hunt has a real bad track record with bridges so far. Let's just, avoid them, perhaps. And from there, the rest of the movie is a chase sequence where they've got to go and track down who's got the nuclear codes that have been stolen. Oh yeah, nuclear codes, they've been pinched. Once again, we're chasing that MacGuffin around the globe. Very popular plot device, that one. Anyway, like I said, it's an international MacGuffin hunt, and they have to clear their own names and clear the reputation of the IMF agency. I have never seen an IMF plan completely fall apart like this. They set it up as another smooth and slick performance, and then it just disintegrated, and they had to improv and make it up on the fly. And that makes this story one of the best. The high-rise sequence in Dubai, that was insane. And everyone treated it like it was truly insane. I wonder if he really was on the outside of the building. I'll have to look into it. If he is, I won't be surprised. And the follow-up sequence in India, probably one of the best I've seen. The car chase, the gunfight, the infiltration, trying to get the codes and trying to stop other people from getting the codes, and the drag down punch up in a car park. All the characters getting to showcase what they can and can't do, overcoming ridiculous odds, and saving the day much to their own surprise. Renner's reveal as a truly capable field agent was a good reveal. It was a telegraphed reveal. You kind of knew it was going to be something more than just an attaché admin assistant. It's Jeremy Renner. He may be a latecomer to the action scene, but he's really good at it, so you knew they weren't going to waste that. Makes me want to go watch his Bourne movie again, and get that other movie, the one where it's Hawkeye and Scarlet Witch running around in Alaska or something, solving crime. It's this one. And they round out Brandt's character development by giving me some solid closure, which was appreciated. Enjoyed seeing his little arc. Anyhow, the story delivers everything you want. Action, intrigue, it's intense, there's double crosses, you don't know who's in charge of what, you don't know what's coming next. You don't even know if everyone's going to make it out of this one. It was a fun old time. I really enjoyed myself. But my only complaint will be the fact that I'm pretty sure we're only going to get to see maybe one or two of these characters again in the next movie because they never keep the same crew. I mean, it's, annoying for great reasons because you love the characters, but come on, can we have just a little bit of consistency? Please. Story gets a 3.5. Look and feel. Oh, this movie steps it up. As I already mentioned, the title sequence is impressive. And the music all the way through this one, just gold. The IMF music being played in local style when they roll into India, that was very cool. That was catchy. I really like that. I think that's my favorite version of it, actually. They went extra high tech on this one, and then they had a break and fall apart and not quite work. This is like Tony Stark's experimental collection. The stuff that he's still playing with, hasn't worked all the kinks out yet, might give it to, the Avengers to play with and do a bit of field testing. Which links back to Hawkeye again. Can't help myself. But as for the sights around the world, Budapest was great. Did I say Budapest? Budapest. Budapest was in the movie. There you go. Budapest looked great. Kremlin looked great. Russia just looked fantastic. That was really nice. Dubai was amazing to look at. And the building sequence, I actually got vertigo when he looks out the window, when they tilt the camera over. I had to lean back in my seat and my ears went funny. I got vertigo. I had to pause the movie. Had to get a drink of water. Watching him do all that. Again, I'm not sure if it's real or how much of that's real, but it felt real. And so you're getting anxiety for him as he's going up and down the building. And then the dust storm starts rolling in. I was half expecting it just to be a thing they hid from, but no, played into a car chase in a dust storm through Dubai. And speaking of cars, the cars in India. Oh, there were some nice vehicles. Oh, they bashed up some nice vehicles. I'm not really a car guy. I don't know a lot about cars on site. But I'm watching this going, oh, that's bad. Oh, that's bad. Oh, that's worse. But once again, it's just so much fun to watch. It's a feast. The sets, the scenery, the clothing, yeah, costumes, equipment, the way it's shot, the way it's lit, the way the whole thing's done. It just was engrossing. It's probably the best looking movie in the IMF series, if not one of the best looking movies I've seen in a very long time. Look and Feel gets a 3.75. Scratch that. I cannot think of a single reason not to bump it up to a 4. Yeah, Look and Feel. 4. Script and dialogue. Okay, straight up, this is the funniest IMF movie so far. It's witty, it's clever. An example of this is the window ledge conversation in Dubai, where Brant's yelling out the very obvious instructions to Ethan, who is losing his temper as he hangs off the side of a building 119 stories up. This is probably the best team chemistry I've seen on the screen as well. They're just so good together. Benji is funny as, and he knows his stuff. He's not just comic relief, he's an essential team player. Brant actually manages to feel shy and awkward a couple of times, and their back and forth is great. When Benji and Brant are going on about the dangers of their job, that's too good. And Jane having no confidence in herself and absolute reluctance to be the honey trap, and then basically resorting to violence when she gets flustered, pretty much beating this dude up. And Ethan trying to wrangle a bunch of cats in the same direction that the mission requires them. He's just looking more and more frustrated and frazzled at his wit's end as the movie goes along. I think Cranky Ethan, or Flustered Ethan, or Panicky Ethan is my favorite Ethan. They disrupt his calm. And the physical humor with that glove. That faulty glove that keeps flapping around and doing its thing. Just good value. They didn't need to do it either, but they slotted it in there. Oh, they know their stuff, don't they? And as much fun as watching the team work well together, when the team starts to collapse inward under the pressure and the stress and suspicion, that's even better again. And the very best part of it, best, because English I good, is when the team comes back together again and they're even more efficient, even more honestly, I'm coordinated. Even more coordinated. Because they all pull together in India and they make it work. They make some magic on screen happen there, and it's just nice. Sadly though, I can't remember a thing about the villains. I can't remember their motivation. I can't remember what they say. I can barely remember what they do. The only one I remember is the assassin chick. But that's it. Don't know what happened there. I just can't remember much of the villain stuff. That's a problem. But despite that problem, and it's, potentially a huge problem, because quite often you base the hero on how good the villain is, they still manage to pull off an excellent script. The movie still goes along really, really well. Either way, I'll be giving script and dialogue a 3.75. It would be another 4, except the villains are so non-remarkable that I really should be able to remember them, but I can't at all. So, yeah, that's a step down. Fun factor. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is good. It's not often my wife laughs out loud in a movie. She normally just smile or giggle a little bit. But this one cracked her up. So there's bonus points in that. They rush you through some scenarios. They drag out other things. They have a smackdown, drawn out punch up for this briefcase that feels like it goes on for half the movie. It has a nice feel good finish and wrap up at the end. All round, this was a very good time. One of the most endearing qualities of this movie, though, are the little sight gags. The little attention to detail. Just the little funny things. Just here and there sprinkled through the movie that you'd miss if you weren't paying attention. Oh, the flashbacks weren't annoying. Seriously, how many movies have you sat through where they have to go through a flashback and you're like, oh, come on, can we just not? Can we just calm down? Steady on, Oliver Queen. You're at an island. We got it. Thank you. Not so in this movie. The flashbacks just felt natural. They felt part of it. In fact, they were essential. Had myself a real good time. Fun factors are 3.5. Final score. Add all these up? 18. A well-deserved 18. Really glad that scored better than Godzilla. I mean, I love that monster movie, but come on. This was a really enjoyable time. I finished the movie wanting more, but glad that I didn't get more, because too much more might have ruined the balance of this film. Would I recommend it? You betcha. Do you like your spy movies? Do you like your action movies? watch this one. It's so good value. So thanks once again for joining me. I hope you enjoyed my review. Please comment down below as to what you thought of this movie. Are you enjoying the IMF series I'm doing? Do you enjoy the IMF movies at all? And if not, why not? And what movies do you prefer for your spy action thrillers? Please like, subscribe, you would be amazed how much of this ends up on the cutting room floor, so to speak. Like, subscribe, and please share my review around. As always, I hope you're having a great week and that you go and make some time to watch a movie.